Where will I go?
I remember, I think when
What
that
will I do?
first CD, if I'm not mistaken, and this is when you had to like go back and like actually get it from the Best Buy, you know, in Circuit City and shit like that. Because I remember I had got it and I had told one of my friends, a girl who lived across the street from me, Frederica. I said, Frederica, I heard this group name 112. I was like, we ought to go up and get the CD, girl. Child went up there, that bitch was sold out. You ain't got to worry about them problems no more. With digital, and never sold out.
All right, let's get started. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Test Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on a Sunday night, basically Sunday night, ready to do some podcasts. Find us wherever you get podcasts. The official weapon of the show is
the taser,
and the unofficial sport,
bullet ball,
and bullet ball extreme. Let's get right on into the show. Okay, there's plenty of stuff to talk about. I think first we'll just start off with some just regular ass, plain, everyday. You see it.
It's normal ass news.
And you go, what? Is this news? It's news. We just gonna talk regular ass news. Let me play some music though, so I know where to put this commercial later. Cook that up, bro. Oh shit, my brother made that beat.
That beat's nice.
Yeah, I feel like his beats take you on a journey. It's not just a drop. All right. So, news is happening. Things to talk about, social media and stuff. I say we talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it, because I'm gonna be like a lot of the audience. I'm like, who? What? I didn't know that.
Maybe you will. Maybe you won't. We'll find out.
Okay, we'll find out together.
All right, let's see. Let's start with a light one. Meek Mill responds after being slammed for saying "Free Tory Lanez" at a concert. He was doing his set at Rolling Loud, and he said, "You know what? It's time to talk about the political prisoner, Tory Lanez." And he said this. Okay, all right. It's kind of bad audio, but he says "Free Tory Lanez" at the end of that. I think Meek Mill is known famously for being in jail, and all of us being like he should be out of jail. And so now maybe his thing is any rapper that goes to jail shouldn't be in jail, regardless of if they're guilty or not. It's also a continuation of a long-term trend of ever since he's been out of jail. I wish he was in Twitter jail, because he just has a penchant for putting his entire Timberland in his mouth. It's just, he has said so many fucked up, stupid things. And, you know, most of it seeming to be like when a woman is involved or something,
right,
he can't help himself but be like,
can't help himself.
So I know with the Suki Hana thing, he was like, you know, can we leave the dude alone that tried to sexually like harass her and shit in front of everybody?
Like, no, bitch, no, we can't do that. We can't. It's a problem. A crime happened. Just because a black man does it doesn't mean you should be held accountable for your actions.
Right. But the other thing too, I'd say for specifically like to make it a macro thing, not just a Meek Mill thing. I think a lot of dudes struggle with this. Like, actually, it's 2 points I want to make. The first one is, I think a lot of this free so-and-so shit is bullshit. And people just be saying it and there's no thought to it. And it's not revolutionary. It's not anti-prison or whatever the fuck people are trying to make it out to be. It's literally like, I don't know the people that this person hurt, so fuck them.
Right.
I don't care about the people that they hurt, so fuck them. You know, we need to free Young Thug. Okay, so all the fucking people that got robbed and all their shit was stolen, I guess fuck them. No justice for them. No, just rob them with impunity, and then you just go be out on the streets like nothing happened.
Right.
You know, it's not a well thought out stance in the first place. Very few of these free somebody movements are because people think they're either innocent or they've been over penalized. Like most of the motherfuckers like Young Thug's not even the trial hasn't even finished, and it's like free him, you know. And it's like, well, it's a racketeering charge for stealing a bunch of shit from people and terrorizing a black community, even if it's upper class black folks, still black folks. And it's like, nah, free him because I like his music. I think it's that fucking simple for most people. Free them because they famous. And then the second part is, on a macro level, so many black dudes think that empowerment for being a black dude is impunity from your own actions, the consequences of them. So it's like, yeah, this dude shot one of the most famous rappers on the planet Earth. Why should he have to go to jail for that though? Like that's what they're saying. Mm-hmm. So he put on his Instagram, I say free Young Thug, free Lucci, free Melly. I don't even know why y'all start dealing with us if y'all gonna try to smear us. That's why I stick to the trenches. And then he put, what is the draw line? I got niggas locked up for bodies they ain't do. I don't got a controlled voice. What?
You're not making any sense. And also, I do believe what your first statement was true. Mm-hmm. He felt like I got entrapped, so anybody else is automatically entrapped too. Like fuck.
It's weird though, because
fuck the evidence. It don't even matter. It's like, no, at some period of time, you got to look at the shit.
And I don't think Meek's thing, I can't remember the whole details, but I don't even think his thing was he was not guilty. It's just people felt he was being overly penalized for something that wasn't that big a deal.
And I can see that too.
And in this case, Melly rapped about, he had a song, Murder on My Mind. He rapped about killing the dude. It's his homie he killed.
Yes, he rapped about killing the dude on the song and killed the dude. Gave details.
Yeah, the I don't got a control voice. This is why Meek was the face of the Jay-Z and Robert Kraft. This is why he was the face of that movement when people were like, we need to stop the over incarceration of black people, blah, blah. But he was not the voice of that movement. If you notice, if you seen somebody dropping a statement, it was somebody professional and prepared, because Meek Mill is not ready for prime time when it comes to talking in public, man. Like, it looks so fucking stupid to have him say some dumb shit like that. But yeah, free Tory Lanez. What a dummy. It's like, and what are you saying? He didn't do it, or are you saying it just don't matter?
Right. And the thing a lot of times is you could have said nothing. I know that's easier said than done. I know social media and the way the world is today, everybody feel like they got to give their opinions all the time. But the truth be told, sometimes no, you don't. Mm-hmm. Sometimes no, you don't. And in a situation like this, you were not on an interview. Nobody had a microphone in your mouth. There was no journalist there. You just opted to say this. Like not so funny. It's kind of different. And even then, you could opt not to say anything if you're asked a specific question and you're given an answer. That's completely different.
Right.
But this right here, you did it on your own accord, not prompt, not provoked, not asked, and then wonder why people got mad.
Yeah, it's just and it would be another thing if he was either trolling or he was one of these people that was like, man, I don't even really care what social media got to say. But then he comes out here and he'll like be mad or toast some dumbass defense on social media. And look, it's not the worst thing in the world, meaning that I don't think anyone holds Meek Mill in such high esteem that we're like, like, not a lot of people. There are some people, but there's not a lot of people that think he's like got a voice that needs to resonate throughout the community. But it's just such an easy on go. Like, dude should be easy to root for. You got out of jail. Everyone was happy you got out of jail. And then you just immediately start saying dumb shit. and people like put them back in jail. Working from home could easily wipe $800 billion from office values globally.
Yeah, that's why they want everybody to get back to work. Employees don't care. Employees don't care. It's employers that care. It's the rental. It's the office people that care, because you know what? I think you even read it. I remember reading where they were saying that the value of these properties are tanking because nobody's fucking in them anymore. And so they're like, we gotta get this up so we can get these taxes, so we can, make this guap that we've been getting off of people. And so they kind of put pressures on the companies, then the companies put pressure on people to come back. And truth be told, now, and I've said this before and I said it again, at first it was voluntary, right? All those people done bought their asses back to work. Everybody else, you're going to force them to come back. And when you force people to come back, guess what you're going to have? An angry ass workforce. Guess what you're going to have? And I think I read an article about this, how they were saying how people came back to work and their productivity tanked. Yes, bitch. Now I have 3 to 5 hours of sitting in fucking traffic. Now I have to fight and rush to pick my child out up at daycare after 6 was $25 a minute. Now you've added extra shit to my commute now. Now I got to catch the bus. Now I have to get up and get everybody ready, versus before I could just get my ass up, shower, walk 3 feet and clock in. Guess what? You ain't gonna get overtime, bitch, because I'm getting off this motherfucking clock now. You're not getting people working extra for free because my computer's in the other room. So, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have the same productivity as you had in the office, but like this, you want the same productivity with people at home, and you want that same productivity in the office, but that's not working, because it's one of those things where when people were scared of their jobs, losing their jobs when there was a pandemic, people did go above and beyond. Because they was like, well, shit, I don't know if I'm gonna have a job. But after a while, that shit get tired. People can only do the job of 2 or 3 people, but so long. And after a while, they're gonna say, bitch, give me a pay raise or something, or some shit like this, like, or give change my title, because you're not gonna fucking work me to death and not hire anybody. But yet you want me to bring my ass into a fucking office and add more time. See, it's not bothering you. And also something else that makes me highly upset about this, the people that make this motherfucking decision, you know what? They can fucking work commute. You know what? They still fucking do Zoom. You know what? They can work out of office. They can do that. But yet they don't want anybody else to have the luxury to do that, because it's about micromanaging. It's about we want to be able to tell you what to do. It's about the structure of the working environment. Companies have not adjusted to people don't like being micromanaged. People don't like being monitored. The average person is competent enough to do their job without you looking over their shoulders. Y'all got all these fucking programs now. You can see every goddamn keystroke. You can see how long I was on the computer. You can see, you can do this. You just don't want to implement it. You rather have somebody there, because I know firsthand, and I've even done this at my jobs before, where I haven't done shit all day, but I look like I'm motherfucking busy, so it don't goddamn matter. So, when people are at home, people got to work. You have to work, because, if you don't work, your numbers and your productivity show. And it's one of those things where it's very angering and it's very frustrating, particularly for the people that don't want to go. If you want to go in, cool, but I don't think I should be forced to go in unless the job I do, is something where I have to be in physical contact. If it's not that type of job and it can be done remotely, I don't understand.
Office attendance is stabilized at 30% below pre-COVID norms, and only 37% of workers are going into the office every day, according to McKinsey Global Institute. They had a report. They also add a string of recent signs that lasting changes to working habits, that these are lasting changes because the pandemic are hurting the value of commercial real estate. A market also under strain from rising interest rates. Yeah, the thing that I think is that's interesting about the article and the framing of this, there's probably a handful of people on the planet, a handful of corporations that can truly lease a fucking big ass office building, right? Mm-hmm. And when they're down bad, when their investment isn't working out, keep in mind, we're not talking about the businesses losing money on like actual business stuff. We're talking about them not maximizing the assets they have, which is this building.
Right.
When that happens, suddenly society needs a solution. Suddenly this is a problem for all of us. Now let's say that there's being very, very generous. Let's say there's 5% of corporations and people that can have the money to and have invested in these buildings, downtown buildings and all this shit. So the 95% of us that are much more happier working from home, that's not the article. The article shouldn't be like, yo, people are so happy working from home. When they have the option to come back to work, they're opting not to. The only way they're coming back to a physical place to work outside of their home seems to be if they're forced to. And I understand there's people that have like colloquial, anecdotal, the J.L. Cobain types of the world. The ones that are like, I like when people, wear the pants on their waist and button up the t-shirts or whatever the fuck. Those people. Like, I like when you smile at me and my neighbor's getting coffee on the way down to the bus, and we see those people go viral on Twitter because they get dunked on when they say that dumb shit. Where they're like, not that jail says that dumb shit, but when they say that dumb shit, like, listen, I'm a manager and I think I like when everyone's in the office and I think it makes people dress better and do such and such. And it's like, yeah, that fucking that immeasurable value that you're putting on it, that like we can't put a number on that on the like. So like you got to get a babysitter and wear and tear in your car and all that type of shit, so that I'll have a intrinsic value of respecting myself because I shaved this morning rather than stayed in my house and worked in my pajama pants. Like, that's the thing that I think is the most infuriating, because it's the way the society is geared. Not society, but a lot of the media landscape is geared to, just by the headline of this article, you're putting their needs, quote unquote, you're putting their feelings above the feelings of people that are much happier being at home.
Right, because they go, fuck your happiness, bring your ass back to this goddamn plantation. That's all they're saying. And my thing is...
And also, we're talking about the valuation of the property. We're not even talking about like they actually like lost something.
Right.
They're not like, it's like if they were to try to sell it today, it would be worth less money than it was before. They're probably also paying less taxes on it than it were before.
Yes.
But like, meanwhile, you know what is going up? The value of residential properties, your apartment rent, your home mortgage, the property tax on your home is going up. So while these motherfuckers are like complaining about it, the money is coming from us now rather than them in those areas. So like I said, it just feels like rich people's problems are more important than regular people's problems.
Right. And it's very, very fucked up. And a lot of, and my thing is this, all I'm saying is make it optional. And we shouldn't even have the option a lot of times. Mm-hmm. They go, nope, fuck it. Bring your ass in here, work these 40 hours, 5 days a week. Some jobs don't even want to go hybrid. They're like, no, bring your ass in. And I'm like, well, you're stripping me of that choice. And then you wonder why you got grumpy ass employees. And my biggest thing is this. It's more to bringing people back in than just bringing people back in. You know what goes up? Sexual harassment complaints. You know what also go up? Racial complaints. You know what else? Like all this shit. HR didn't have to deal with this shit because motherfuckers was at home and they did it on Zoom. But when people get back together, people are a problem. And so all these things that you almost kind of eliminated is going to start roaring back, which is the downside of you having people all together again.
Waning demand for office space has driven down landlords' asking rents, with U.S. cities suffering the sharpest falls. In San Francisco and New York last year, asking rents fell 28% and 22% respectively. Good, because they have been fucking rising out the charts for years,
and it was too high.
And I guarantee you, it's still high. I guarantee you, it's still too high. But that's compared to 2019. Once inflation is taken into account, in a moderate scenario, demand for office space could be 13% lower by the end of the decade than it was in 2019. Good. We need an evening out of a lot of shit. I don't know why people look at the economy and they look at profits and they look at buildings and all this, and they just go, the numbers should always just be going up, up, and up, and up, up, up forever. And there should never be an adjustment. There should never be a bubble that bursts or any of this stuff. And maybe this is a bubble bursting, and maybe we need that.
Yeah, and I was looking at something that TPS said, and another reason why.
What'd she say?
She was saying that people in cubicles are still doing Zoom, which is true. Mm-hmm. Because when I remember when work from home, when they started bringing people back, a lot of people that was going in were angry because they said, bitch, if I got to do Zoom, I could have did Zoom at home in my motherfucking pajamas. Because because what's happening is that a lot of people have realized the cheapness of your Zooms and your Teams. You ain't got to fly people out. You ain't got to pay for hotel rooms. Like you want to cut that cost, right? But yet you want me to bring my ass in here and do the same shit that I was doing at home. Like having all these meetings do Zoom because everybody can't be in the same location, dealing with bad audio. I can do this shit at the motherfucking house.
A mail delivery has been paused in a Texas town after nesting hawks began attacking people.
Oh shit, they done had enough of us.
The hawks' actions have been so extreme that the USPS paused delivery. You gotta go pick your mail up at the local post office if you want it now.
Oh shit! So if you can't make it, she just piling up.
Yeah, because them hawks is out there.
Yeah.
These ain't no Atlanta hawks, okay? These motherfuckers is winning. No offense, Calandra, don't write it. Local resident Eric Klein told KVUE that this isn't the first time that the hawks in the area have been aggressive with people. Since April, I literally can't walk outside without having it sweep past me or hit me. Says it feels like being hit with a fist-sized rock. Ooh, that hurts.
Ooh, fuck with these hawks. Like some person fuck with the hawks and the hawks say, all humans on the list. Fuck them.
Maybe they've been talking to the orcas.
I'm trying. The animals have had enough of people.
They was like, White Gladys said, y'all be fucking with people and shit.
They was like, we liked it when y'all was in the motherfucking house in 2020.
Right. What y'all doing outside?
Right.
Stay your ass outside. COVID out here and me. Yeah, it's also interesting too because like, my thing is, I feel like a well-motivated animal can beat a human every time.
Oh yeah, I'm not fucking with no animals.
Like, I mean, even the shit that we take for granted, like a squirrel. I think a squirrel will fuck you up.
A squirrel will fuck your ass.
Like, they all so much faster than us and shit. They all stronger than us.
Right, no matter how small they are. And on top of that, it's more of them than us. Yeah, you one person, but you get 2 or 3 or 4 of them motherfuckers together, they would eat your ass up.
Right. I just think it's interesting because, like I said, I've had that thought before where I'm like, yo, if a fucking like house cat decides it's over for your ass, it's over for your ass. You're gonna have to kill it, but it's gonna fuck you up in the meantime.
And ain't nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
But take that ass whooping.
When you get on Twitter and you see people saying like, I could beat up a lion or whatever, it's always like, okay, nigga, then I guess you just don't watch Discovery Channel or whatever.
Right. You know it's professionals that do this, and they know the animals and they've studied the fucking animals. They were like, yeah, we tranquilize that bitch. They don't do that for no reason.
Right. All right, let's go to the next article. Shein. Is it Shein? I'll be saying Shein.
I thought it was Shein.
But I believe it's Shein.
Okay. Shein, it's the same thing.
All right. Well, Shein, the fast fashion clothing retailer, is facing a lawsuit that accuses the company of engaging in an elaborate operation to steal intellectual property from designers, and they hitting them with the RICO.
Oh, damn! What did they do?
The same shit they hit Young Thug with.
Oh, so they just out here trying to steal people's shit?
This is what they use to get the mafia, the RICO. Okay, this is like a vast criminal conspiracy situation. And it's funny because one, they had a video that went viral of this TikTok, like, so Shein's been getting the I mean, on some levels, I'm sure it's extremely hypocritical and it's just people talking shit and it doesn't really matter. And it's just a lot of online virtue signaling of, look at us, we found the thing wrong with the thing that's popular, right? I think that's really what's happening because, there's not very many mass-produced anythings that are good. Motherfuckers are wearing Nikes and we're like, they may have made these Nikes with child labor, motherfuckers ordering Amazon and they making people piss on the floor. So there's like things we accept and ignore. And Shein, I think, got so popular so fast. Everybody's like, what's the downside? Because you can go on Shein and order fucking 7 pairs of everything and get it at your house in 5 days and it only costs you like $40.
Right.
And it's like, well, how the fuck is that possible? And
how can you afford this?
You wear it twice, it tears apart, but it doesn't matter. It costs you $1.99. Who gives a fuck?
All right.
You can't wear it in the rain, but you was only gonna go out there one time anyway with it. You wear it, rip it off, throw it straight in the trash. That's the, and so it's bad for the environment, blah, blah, blah. Well, a lot of people were like, this is like also labor violations. That's how they can afford. Like the people that make the clothes are doing such bad labor practices that that's why they can afford like to be
so cheap. You be like, there's no way.
Right. And so what happened was there was this big thing where influencers went on a tour of the factory, and then they came back and they influenced or attempted to making content based on saying like, listen, it's cool. We went through the factory. We all got video of it and everything. Looked cool to us. Wasn't no slave labor up in there. Everybody was happy, having a good time.
Everybody was like, your whole job too is not to investigate them. Like, they're paying you. So actually, not trying to find your opinion on this matter don't count.
Yeah, and so Shein is like a Chinese company, Now I have read very recently that they're trying to distance themselves from China, although I don't know how. I know they're moving headquarters and factories outside of the country, but like, are you gonna have zero investment in China and still be able to keep up all that prices and shit you've been doing? Because I don't know how that's gonna work. But that's because of the pressure from online. It was so much like, these motherfuckers are using China's exploitative labor practices, and there's one girl, this white girl that she went super viral because she was like one of the main people being like, guys, Shein is good, ain't nothing wrong with it, y'all tripping. No. I went there, here's a video of me doing such and such and doing this.
This is the paid advertisement. Ma'am, what are you talking about? We understand it's a paid advertisement. So like I said,
right,
your job was not to go up there and do any formal investigation. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, you're not gonna trick me. And here's the thing, I don't have the moral outrage about it because I'm not fucking 12. I'm a grown up, and I know the world's all fucked up and corrupt, and whatever I order from any of these motherfuckers, if it don't cost enough, more likely somebody was exploited to fucking make it. I'm a big boy in the big boy world. It's, I'm not pretending. If I play a video game and then I read an article later like they were making people work 60 hours a week, I'll be like, yep, that sounds about right, because this is a 60-hour-a-week game. This is Last of Us 2.
Right.
Ain't no way they made this shit in anything less than 80 hours of unpaid labor. There's no way. It's too good. But so they roasted that woman. Like they roasted her bad, by the way. They got into her personal life. Talk about her boyfriend. Like, look, she dating a slim black man and she a thick white girl. I knew it. I could tell from the haircut. I'm like, this no longer has anything to do with Shein.
Right. That be my point. That be all off topic.
What this got to do with labor practices, ma'am?
Nothing. It became a personal attack. I go, okay, I'm ignoring you, ma'am, and I just keep going.
Right. But so eventually this drew a lot of attention and stuff, and now they're being sued. But what they're being sued about is not necessarily their labor practices. They're being sued because they allegedly trove the internet, Pinterest, everything, like social media for different fashion creators and creatives, and they were just taking their designs and making them in China or whatever
without actually paying. Yeah, because in China, from my understanding, it's different.
Their copyright is different than ours.
Yes,
they're not even beholden to our copyright. And if it's a government thing, the government can just take your copyright. Like, fuck that shit, it's ours. But what I think is interesting on that front is they're not necessarily going down for labor practices then, which is the thing everybody was supposed to be mad about. But stealing motherfuckers' work is still fucked up. I don't know what I guess they'll have to, their U.S. wing will be the one that has to face this in trial or something. But
like, we can't go after y'all, but we can go after you here in the States because we got rules against that bullshit.
Right. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Shein, but I can't believe they got hit with the RICO before Arby's. I mean, who had that shit on their bucket list?
Who knew?
Another thing that went viral: a woman turned down an ice cream date for being the bare minimum, and it sparked an online debate.
They was hot about this shit. This is dumb.
So you did see this one, okay?
Now, this one I seen because these niggas was talking about this shit. I didn't know what happened. All I know is everybody was talking about ice cream. I was, what the fuck we talking about ice cream for?
Yeah. So, this is on Reddit that started this, which is like Reddit is such an interesting source of news because nothing can truly be verified on Reddit. It's the purpose of Reddit, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But stuff like "Am I the asshole?" which could be completely made up.
Mm-hmm.
Some Reddit about people cheating or some outlandish story. People are like, they eat it up and they go viral and they like to argue about it, and it feels a lot like the old tradition of black morning shows where they would read like, it's the strawberry letter, and it's like, this shit probably didn't happen to nobody, but whatever, it's good enough to argue about,
it is,
because it's always a story to take it like 3 steps further than reality, where you like, and the person he was cheating with was your daddy, what? And it's like, okay, this is probably content, but this screenshot, which is another angle of things I want to discuss real quick, is or just I want to note real quick, I still don't know the rules to when the fuck y'all can violate each other's privacy.
And my thing when I seen the text messages, because not trying to be funny, y'all are weird because this was a private conversation that literally should have fucking stayed private. And a lot of people do this shit on like dating apps and things like that, and they make it public. Well, sometimes that person might not want the information that they had with you and what they consider the private conversation public. They might not want that. And I understand it's on your phone, blah, 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 blah. I completely understand that. But also, when people do that, think about this. If this was to happen to you, if you were on the other side and somebody takes what you have out of context sometimes, because there's post before and there's post after, and be like, look at what they said. The average person would be fucking highly upset.
Also, you're not putting this into an environment. Like, if you sent me this screenshot and we were friends and you said, look at what happened on my dating app, blah, 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 and we're friends, it's a safe place. I'm going to have your back because we friends. If you didn't do nothing too crazy or egregious, I'm going to be like, yo. And if you did do something wild, I'd be like, hey, you might be wrong here because you're my friend, but I'm not trying to ridicule you. I'm just telling you on a personal level, the way I'm reading this, it seems like maybe perhaps you're the one that's overreacting, which the internet's not like that.
Nope.
So when they share this shit on social media, I'd say it's 50-50, if not like 60-40, people turning on you, the original poster, and being like, fuck you, because they're not your friends.
Mm-mm.
Which is like why it's such a weird idea to share this shit on the internet in the first place, because it's not the internet is always an away game. Okay, you always on the road. Ain't no home games on the internet. So, but yeah, so she shared this screenshot. Can you see it on your screen now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Can you read the blue? You can be Vance. I'll be her.
Hi, this is Vance.
Hi, smiley face emoji.
Hope you had a good day. I'm excited for tomorrow.
I'm sorry. Do I have to make it big? I don't know if I can make it big on my end.
Okay, I move closer to the screen, y'all. So.
Oh, you know what? No, I can just do this. This is now just weird. I got it.
I'm sorry. I got my glasses on too, y'all. I was like,
I thought you had the ones that had the progressive vision. You still couldn't see? I can see it on my big ass screen.
Nigga, you got a big ass screen. I got a laptop. It ain't the same.
I know, baby. I'm joking. I hope you had a good day. I'm excited for tomorrow. I can pick you up, but if you're not comfortable with that, we can just meet there. I don't know why, but I'm feeling like getting some ice cream in this hot weather. Hot face, like sweating emoji, LOL. Now I want to note something that I really haven't seen much in the discourse. He's relating it to the hot weather. So, which is very valid at this fucking point. It's hot as balls out, all the time. Mm-hmm. So, with global warming, I get, but people, it's like a cute, like, ha ha ha, she says, sorry if this may come off as rude, which, I mean, honestly, isn't it always going to, when you say start preface anything with that? Anyway, sorry if this may come off as rude, but I don't do ice cream dates. I'm a 26-year-old woman, and a date like that seems like the absolute bare minimum for me. Meeting up would be a waste of both of our time since we probably don't have the same vibe. Best wishes. And he just put cool with the sunglasses emoji.
Right, and that literally should have been in the end of the interaction.
Yeah. Well, it was the end of the interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean they shouldn't have shared it with us? Okay, yeah, I feel
like.
Yeah, it's not really our business.
It doesn't sound like it was disrespectful. Nobody got called out of their name. You know, he gave a suggestion. You said that wasn't your vibe. Okay, not so funny. It's like the end.
All rejection is essentially a favor that they're doing you. Even if you feel like it's not valid, then that person just introduced that they're not valid to you. You know what I'm saying? Like if someone says, I don't go on dates with people that I don't know, people that drive their own cars. I only date people that I don't date guys that drive buses unless they own the bus. That person just did you a favor, because if you think that is a ridiculous point of view, they're gonna have many more ridiculous points of view that you don't have to deal with. You no longer have to deal with because you won't be dating them, right?
Right.
All rejection is a favor. Even like it might hurt, you might not like it, but they did you a fucking favor. It's just a fact. If a motherfucker ghosts you in the middle of dating, whatever the fuck they did you a favor. It sucks and it hurts, but in the long run, there's other ways to be hurt by a person like that, and the rejection of dating is probably the least hurtful one of the ways that can hurt you, you know? But the other thing I was going to say too is the sharing of it and her adding the macro level, like, you know, this seems like the bare minimum to me. It would be a waste of both of our times. It you know, it's that extra little needling that I think made people respond with, I'd go on an ice cream date, I'll do it, which fine, and you and this gentleman should go on a date, you know. Like, it's not a deal breaker to you, and it seems like the vast majority of people don't find it to be the deal breaker. She's also only 26, and you know, 26 is like prime, like young people shit. Like, maybe there's a bunch of 40-year-olds that also would be insulted at an ice cream date, but like from what I gathered just anecdotally on social media, people our age were much more chill about it, because I think we're older and we're just chilling out now. We're not, everything doesn't have to be make or break. Every relationship isn't, you know, the end of it. You've had 44 years of ups and downs and experiences and dates and mismatches and shit. It don't really, like, an ice cream date to people doesn't really mean anything bigger than that, because they're like, we've all experienced too much now.
Yeah, and also it's one of those things where you say that needling is her personal experience. So basically which we all do in relationships, don't get me wrong, but instead of just been like, that's, you know, no, that's not my thing, and it, like, all that extra shit was you bringing your baggage to the table, right? And even then that person's like, okay, cool, you know what I'm saying, like they didn't respond or anything like that, you know.
Yeah, I didn't feel like, I think that's another reason the bar varies for men. It's much lower, but because the man, quote unquote, in this, because we don't know if any of this is real, because the man in this scenario wasn't rude, he wasn't entitled, he didn't react in an aggressive or angry way, nothing creepy was in here, he was nice the whole time. I think because of that, that's another reason, because like I said, the bar is low. That's another reason people are immediately on his side, quote unquote. Like, bitch, you should win on that date. There ain't no nice man out here buying ice cream or otherwise.
Yeah, like I said, you're not obligated to go. You're not obligated to go at all. But you know, like everything else with parenting and discipline and all this shit, once you open it up to the internet, they can interpret it however they want to, and your initial intentions, they don't care anything about that. It would the event becomes theirs. It's no longer
also like
to you.
To me, I mean, the other side of this is everyone going, all she did was let people know her standards, and y'all are all overreacting. Good for her, basically, right? Which I can see that point of view as well. I'm not really like, to me, I didn't see it as like, I guess what I'm saying is, to me, a no in that case, if you really mean no, is just a no. You're not really letting the world know your standards on the dating app. Like, that's not the, or you can, but that's not the space for it.
Right.
then it's just content, and I see through the shit to be content to be like, then you took a screenshot and shared it on social media somewhere, or someone thought to. But my point being, I think people can see her point of view without it being like she has to be like, this is insane, I can't believe this woman is so mean and crazy. Like, I can see this point of view, especially at 26. Probably got mad date opportunities, or you're anticipating dating opportunities and stuff. You got your whole life ahead of you, and you're like, yeah, I'm not messing with ice cream dates right now. Okay, cool. I think it's the whole like, and basically you have nothing to offer. We completely must be on the same different vibes to even for you to say some shit. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Right.
So extra level, because you could have just said no, and then we could have stopped talking, and then it wouldn't have been a problem.
Right. Right. And to me, it's just that simple. And it's also, one of those things to where that was additional information that actually, like I said, didn't need to be added. Nobody had to know.
Right.
And because you added that, like you said, that's the part that made people go, well, you're the asshole, not him, because he accepted your no and literally kept it trucking. Like,
right. And I mean, well, also like dating apps are for getting to know people.
Correct.
And a lot of times the conversations you're gonna have aren't really like, they might not always elevate to the like, we know each other well enough to like really be around each other like that. Right. And a lot of people feel like a coffee date or ice cream date is a low pressure get to know you date, like an interview. It's during the middle of the day normally. Both of you can make plans or pretend to have plans afterwards, and you can like put a finite time limit on it. Like, hey, we sat here for an hour. If I feel like, I got to get the fuck out of here. Hey, I got to get back to work. This is nice. Well, maybe we'll do it again sometime. And of course we won't. If it's great, you can go, it's like, cool. I'll just don't go back to work and we can hang out if we both are feeling this or whatever. We can go to a dinner place for a date now, so there's benefits to it. I'm a low pressure type of person. I like low pressure things in general in my life. It's not about having low quality or low standards, because when we do stuff, it might be low pressure, but I see the things you order on the menu. It's high cost.
I'm trying to tell you. Like I said,
Karen's just always curious about the most expensive thing on the fucking menu. It's just what it is. Just always curious, guys. Just always.
Because I like to spend your money.
Right. And so I think also like people exert a lot of pressure on dates. So then it's like, there's just different mentalities. You should be trying to impress me, show up in a suit, take me to a fancy place. I don't give a fuck if we don't even know each other's last names yet. This is what I want. And if that's what you want out of life at that age, go for it. Fuck it, man. No one should be able to tell you no. Only thing should tell you no is the results. If you say, hey, my standard is blank and you ain't going on dates, then your standard is high. If you're going on a lot of dates, maybe your standard is too low. If it's just like anyone can give you some McDonald's napkins, like, damn, I've been on 37 dates this morning. It's like, raise it up a little bit. You got to adjust. But yeah, I just think people got so entitled about it got so upset about it because it just hit at people's insecurities so strongly,
Oh yeah, this right here was that perfect Facebook meme, thoughts. Yeah. And everybody just ran. And it boils down, particularly on Twitter, anything that's male or female, particularly cis het straight, it rolls through that motherfucker like, was it Sunday morning? It rolled through that motherfucker like wildfire.
Right. I don't remember if it was Sunday morning, but it was probably about then. And of course, there was a lot of, I'd go on them dates, people, which, of course, a lot of people go on an ice cream date. I don't disbelieve them, like, I think most people seem to be pretty fucking chill about this shit. It's just she has decided that this means something very important to her, and it says something, I don't know, deeper to her than it does to many of us. And that's what she wants to stake her claim on. Then, to more good luck to her.
Yeah. And it's also one of those things to where, like anything else, as you get older, things change. Things that were, Lord have mercy, the end of the world at 30, you get to 40, you be like, nigga, that shit really wasn't that fucking important.
Yeah.
But you have to get to a point where you decided, for you yourself, you decide to change.
I think also, especially, like, I think men and women in the cishet world, at least, and maybe it's, I don't know enough about other types of dating to really say specifically, but young people, it's like a lottery ticket for them. Like, when you're young, you shoot for the sky. Like, I hope I get an NBA player. I hope I get a fucking CEO or some shit. And I feel like by the time you get older is when you start realizing, like, how futile it was to chase certain surface level things anyway. How I think people start dealing with, like, real, like, you deal with some assholes and you start being like, fuck, a good person seems more valuable than a lot of the shit that I've been placing my value system on. Not everybody, obviously. Some of y'all are still kind of like, wherever you were at 25 is exactly what you want at 45. But a lot of people, I think they just change, and your range of what's acceptable becomes different. It's like, fuck, I was too caught up in looks, or I was too caught up in money, or I was too caught up in education, I was too much, or whatever your adjustment is, maybe you weren't caught up enough in these things, whatever it is. So at 26, I'm not surprised that somebody's like very high, quote unquote, with their bar of like, nah, fuck that. And also, I'm not surprised that all of the older people I know are much lower with their bar. With the, like, ice cream dates seem cool to me. Like, yeah, you're chilled out, you're older, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
That's not really about, that doesn't really mean you're not on the same vibe, just one fucking date. Like, so I know older people seem to be more chill about it, but like I said, I don't really find it that crazy or that mean or whatever that this woman is not with that at 26.
Yeah, me either. Because, there's shit that people do in their 20s, and as you get older, you be like, okay.
Right.
Y'all, you be like, y'all got it.
Yeah. So, good luck to everybody, man. Let's see what else you got here. But, I wish I had a hotter take, but I don't have one. The first over-the-counter birth control pill has been approved by the FDA.
Yes, we was listening to something podcast, NPR podcast, one of them podcasts, and I heard about this, and I said, great. This right here is just as big as when they made over-the-counter yeast infection stuff over the counter, because for years, because the thing about yeast infection is that it's common among people with vaginas, just period. It could be your birth control, it could be a medication that your doctor have you on, it could be stress, it could be a lot of things that causes this to happen, and motherfuckers would have to go to the doctor every single fucking time for them to test you, to tell you it's nothing but a basic ass yeast infection, and you're like, nigga, so, and now I got to schedule off work, doctor's appointment. Like, it is a whole fucking ordeal just to be able to get it. And when it became over the counter, it's just simpler. It's easier. I could just go pick it up with my bacon, eggs, or whatever, and I buy my groceries, go home, handle business, and everybody can keep trucking. I don't have to disrupt my day. And the thing about birth control, as somebody who has been on birth controls, it's a whole ass fucking ordeal, and you have to go back yearly, and you have to get a pap smear, and like it is not something simple.
And a lot of times you have to change it. Like, it can't, like, sometimes you get a birth control that's just not for you, and the effects and the side effects it has on your body, you got to go get a different type of birth control or get on a different method, which happens a lot. The other thing I was going to bring up too, whose birth control is in there already over the counter? People with penises. You ain't got to fill out nothing. They ain't got to do, just right there on the counter for you to grab.
Right there. Give me some Magnums. Give me some Lifestyles.
Right. And then with a country that has a Supreme Court that says y'all on your own when it comes to women's reproductive health, you damn right that then birth control should be available over the counter.
And my thing, the biggest reason for me, and because most parents, if you're a good parent, you are understanding of at some period of time your child will have sex. Like at some period of time, you're realistic about that. You have conversations with your child. You adjust over the years according to their age. You go through, menstrual cycles, menopause, and all that shit. Unless your parents have hangups, and sometimes, a lot of times it has stem in religion. They just pray it away, rebuke the devil, and he will flee. That shit don't work for everybody. And so you have people who, particularly when you talk about that teenager age range, who engage in these activities, but they don't talk to their parents. They don't share these things with their parents. They don't have these conversations with their parents because as somebody whose parent lied to them, my mama, I love her, she lied to me. You could talk to me about everything. Bitch, no, I can't. You lied to me because when I did, you lost your motherfucking mind. You didn't mean it. And so once that trust was broken, we never talked about that bullshit again. And I know that there are other children like that. There's something that happened that trust was broke between a child and a parent. And the child, because of their not being able to mature, not being able to communicate, and parents not being able to handle the truth from their children about their parenting. Because every parent thinks that their parenting is the best. No, your parenting style may not suit your child. If your child says, well, mama, this might work for me the better, that might work for me the better. A lot of times, you know what you become? Your parents. Because you turn around and be like, well, this always been done like this. La, 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 la. You know it, versus actually listening to the child and actually meeting the child's standards and meeting the child's need and working with the child. So, yes, I agree about the birth control because there's a lot of teenagers that can skip past all that bullshit and buy it over the counter for themselves.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know that for sure because I would imagine there's probably some age limits to that.
Okay.
So they're probably not going to let like a 12-year-old or 13-year-old buy this over the counter.
Probably 18.
I'm guessing.
Okay.
I don't know for a fact, but if not, then that's definitely going to get challenged in court, and that's definitely going to end up going to Supreme Court.
I can see 18.
But I would imagine that there's some type of age limit, and if not, then maybe parental consent. They're probably going to treat this like how you can't go, like you can't go into the store and buy alcohol or cigarettes or something. I'm guessing
they're gonna start carding
because I'm sure that Republicans are gonna make it seem like that's gonna be the first attack at is 11-year-olds are buying birth control behind their parents' back. So I don't know in this article if they say what the limit is. But yeah, that's definitely something I'm wondering now. Like you made me wonder because I think that is a good thing to be able to go around parents, and it might be something you can't do till 16 or 18 according to whatever the law is.
Right.
But yeah, I think it is a good thing sometimes because a lot of people's birth control beliefs about their children are rooted in a lot of control, a lot of religiosity shit, a lot of stuff like that. And I get it. It's your kid. I'm not saying your kid's supposed to be able to do whatever they want to do, but some of this stuff is, how do you deal with it when you won't even admit your kid is a fucking a human at some point that you can't control all the time.
Right. You act like these desires don't exist and they're not real unless you didn't have these same desires. And I think for a lot of parents, they know.
Oh, they do say they do allow internet purchases as well. But go ahead.
Even better. They do as parents, they reflect on the things that they did and they fucking panic. I was out here being wild and knucking and bucking and all this bullshit. And this is why you have parents who watch Euphoria, which is a TV show, which is designed to be over the top. And they be like, this is how kids do. You like, no, it's not to that extreme. Not to say that it's not to that, not to say these things don't exist, but it's not to this extreme because parents just freak the fuck out versus sometimes basing shit in reality.
Mm-hmm. I'm reading also I'm like I Google can age limit to buy birth control online, but it's like some of it seems a little contradictory. Like some of it's saying 16.
Because some states it is like you legally 16.
Yeah. It says the kind of birth control you want to get, the insurance you have, the state you live in, your parents' consent are all things that, depending on the state, would come into play. So, but yeah, I'm very this is gonna be an interesting thing to see The other thing too that we're not talking about too is like because birth control is not always just for pregnancy prevention. You can use to regulate hormones, your period, all kinds of stuff.
That's why I got on it. My
And
was a motherfucking beast.
And also, these kids are not fucking now. These kids are having the least sex, they're having the least pregnancies, they're having the least whatever.
Children, right?
Yeah, just because we're like they're these kids are safer than we were.
Yes,
and we were safer than our parents as well. Like we in America anyway, a lot of this stuff is trending towards, safer and less danger and less fucking and less pregnancies and less STDs for the youth, and we're still reacting probably out of fear for our own kids or whatever, but we're reacting as if it's fucking lean on me.
Right, and you're like, and I understand, because as a parent, your whole thing is, my whole job is to protect my child. I completely get that, and I completely understand that, but sometimes those fears are not based in reality, because when you fucking turn around and tell the parent, hey, y'all do know that they're actually having less kids less kids as teenagers than we are. We have, not that they don't exist, but the number is like significantly lower. Parents don't want to hear that shit.
Yep.
They're just like, nope. And you like, well, that's not realistic. And its thing is, now they have things at their fingertips that we didn't have to have access to shit, good, bad, or different, that you, as a parent, you have to navigate that we didn't have. So a lot of them are making more educated decisions.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some other segments. Let's do some fucking with black people. White woman loses her job after viral TikTok sees her harassing black man fishing in his neighborhood.
Oh shit, brother and the brother fishing?
He's just on there fishing, trying to chill out.
I thought fishing was supposed to be peaceful.
I mean, it is to a white person see, I guess. This is the TikTok from Fishing Bay to GA.
Hello.
How are you? Good. How are you?
Trying to make it bigger, but I can't.
Here? Are we bothering anyone? I just have to hurry. Don't touch them. All right.
I love how they said. Oh, well, actually, maybe I can go to the thing now. But I love how she goes like, she's like, why are you asking or whatever? She goes, I have to ask.
No, you don't,
ma'am. You don't work there. Is the video bigger now on your screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Hello.
How are you? Good. How are you? You guys residents here?
Right. You guys residents here? Ma'am, are you police? Like what? Who do you work for? The security?
Right.
You're in pajama pants and a tank top. I assume that you're right. You're driving a regular ass car. I assume you a person out here like we are.
Are we bothering anyone? I just have to hurry. Don't touch them.
So the woman with him that's holding the camera, I believe, or maybe he's holding it. She's off camera, and she says, "Are we bothering you?" And she just goes like, "I have to ask." I'm like, "What? You have to ask?"
So you having a conversation with somebody and was like, "I got to go over there and ask, do these Negroes belong here?"
Right.
Basically, it's show me your papers.
I just have to hurry. Don't touch them. All right. All right, well, this lake is supposedly for residents only.
So she brings up that it's a residents only lake, and then she does the hand gesture, like a shrug, almost like, so.
I don't have to prove shit to you.
Get your black ass out of here.
Unless you calling the motherfucking cops. Like, no.
So skedaddle niggers.
For filming, I'm not giving you permission to film. So.
I'm not giving you permission to film, ma'am.
Bitch, you came over here.
You over here trying to make permission for me to fish.
You came over here.
Like, mind your business. She's like, She said she's gonna take pictures of her license plate and forward it on.
Which is what you should have fucking did anyway.
Hey, so y'all hear what I go through, right? This the third person. I'm in my own neighborhood, and a white person came and.
Oh, now he's talking to us in the camera.
This is the third, which means that everybody keep riding by, be like, do y'all niggas belong here?
I guess she just unlucky third. She just third time's a charm because
they got tired
the first two people, they lucky he ain't putting on the camera.
Bother me while I'm fishing. Another white person came and bothered me while I'm fishing. This is the third time. She's like, oh no, I'm not giving you permission to film. This is my phone. I can film and do whatever I want. I study the law. I study the law. Thank you.
That's sad too. We black people, we gotta study the law, and he's right. Like black people doing recreational shit. We gotta be prepared for the worst. So it's like, what are the laws for walking in the park? White people have never thought that sentence in their life.
Even when we travel internationally, we will actually be like, what is y'all laws over there?
Like white people don't even have to think like that. White people be doing wild shit like tearing down Korean flags at the hotel, and you be like, that's got to be 50 years in prison.
And then get shocked when the people be like, you can't do that bullshit.
Yeah, like white people they just think they know the law. They just, like all them videos you see about white people talking to cops and just yelling at them, those white people don't actually know the laws. They just making them up. And they right. They're always right, though. It's innate. It's internal into them. They're able to say, like, you can't pull me over in a 55 if I'm doing 54. And it's like, that's correct, because you're a white man.
I'm sorry. Hey, don't leave now. Do you want to say, hey, do you live here? Where you live? What's your address?
Where do you live? Where do you live?
This is unbelievable.
Where do you live? Why?
What's your name, by the way? Because at the next meeting, I'm definitely going to mention
the black woman he's with. I'm assuming she's black, but the woman he's with said Karen. He said, "What's your name, Karen?"
And by the way, because at the next meeting, I'm definitely going to mention you.
Her name is Karen.
wait. Matter of fact, let me turn this phone around. Let me go ahead and get your.
Yeah, your licensing tag and shit, since we want to get licensing motherfucking tags of people.
Right. So that happened. That goes
Just
viral.
Leave people the fuck alone. If they don't belong there, fuck it. They're not bothering nobody.
Right. It happens all the time. There's times I mind my business so well. I don't know how it's so hard for other people.
I don't.
But I'm pretty good at just minding my fucking business, being like, ain't got shit to do with me.
Nothing to do with me.
Right.
I do it all the time.
So she ended up getting fired from her job after the company found out she harassed this black man while he was fishing. His name is Anthony Gibson. WSB TV reports that Gibson was fishing at the lake in his neighborhood in Noonan when the woman came up to him and started asking 20 questions. Are you guys residents here? Are we bothering anyone? Said his companion. This lake is for residents only. We just played all this. But he has over 46,000 followers, so she really fucked with the wrong one on TikTok. Which you would think that social media would be an equalizing factor in a bunch of this racist stuff, because white people shouldn't just be looking and going, there's 3 black people that just walked in my restaurant, I'm going to be racist to them. They should be thinking, that could be 3 million followers. I don't know.
They don't, because they don't care.
I can't tell them apart. Let me just leave them alone. You know?
I got to get this schism out.
Gizmo has over 46,000 followers, 1.3 million likes on his page. And during the clip, he said it's the third person, blah, blah, blah. So according to the outlet, Sea Glass Therapy announced via Facebook that this woman, who was an independent contractor, was fired. Sea Glass Therapy is a place of acceptance, healing, and inclusion of all people, regardless of race, gender, sex, orientation, religion, or background. We stand against discrimination in all forms. We have terminated our business relationship with the independent contractor, Tanya, in order to update our values and standards. We strive to be a service to our community and do whatever we can to accommodate the needs and of operating it with integrity.
Right, but they was like, bitch, we can't have people calling up here angry because of what you did. Like, our whole thing is tolerance. We fucking therapy. And they will be like, this makes us question black people that you've interacted with in the past. Because people fail to realize, when you do this, you've done this before. And who else have you harassed and had microaggressions and all that shit too? And now we liable to deal with lawsuits and all type. Because when this shit come up, people go, yeah, that bitch is racist to me. Us
Also,
as a company have to deal with that.
How many? Yeah, because how many black people have been fishing or doing whatever, got harassed by that woman and just went home and didn't tell nobody? They didn't have 45,000 followers or whatever. Because like you said, people that do this kind of shit probably do this kind of shit a lot, you know? Now what's interesting here, 0 to 100 obviously, but what's interesting here is at no point do we actually have proof that she did it because they were black. Like, she didn't say anything racial. He assumed such and then said so. But I just think it's interesting that for the way the article was framed, the way he understood it, the way the black woman that was with him understood it, we all picked up on that this wouldn't be happening if it was white people fishing.
Because y'all don't bother them. Y'all let them be, even if they don't fucking belong there.
Just saying. 0 to 100.
This gets Dacaris. Like, shit like this bothers me. And shit like this also is a fear that I have. I mean, even though odds of it happening are low, that I'm minding my own motherfucking business, not bothering nobody. And all of a sudden, white people think they have it on their own authority to come at me. I really do hope and pray I keep it all together. I really do hope that I have my patience cap on and all that other bullshit, because let's say he would have showed it to you. Now you know where I stay, bitch. It's none of your fucking business.
Yeah, I give it a 100 as well. I mean, a Dracarys as well. Just black people minding their business, and my dad fishes a lot and stuff, and it's one of those things I worry about. Not having, like, I worry about it just because how fucking insane this country is. At once we are the most connected through the internet country, but we're also like separate in so many ways, and we're also like getting so many messages about not trusting each other, not being able to be around each other. And when you see stuff like this, even if it's just a very low percentage chance of it happening, the idea of some random white person threatening your space because they just decided to go fucking white person it's a fear that a lot of us harbor, even in outside spaces. People be like, why black people don't do blank? Why black people don't go camping? Black people don't do this, and black people don't travel and stuff. And I'm like, I'm with you in that those are things we can do better and do more of if we want to do it. But a lot of it is a genuine fear that is related to stuff like this, where it's like, we're not just worried about the bears going ham. We're worried about a white person going feral too, because they have too much power, authority, and too much time on their hands apparently in some of these situations.
Right. And a lot of times it's very frustrating because it's just like, I have authority. You're not a cop, you're not a police officer, you can't enforce any motherfucking laws.
Right.
But yet you, off your whiteness, you just have the authority. It's very, very frustrating. And it happens sometimes in like basic ass conversations. Because I remember this happened years ago. You know how I call everybody sweetie, honey, baby. Most people just ignore me. And so I was talking to the cashier at Harris Teeter years ago, and I said, hey, sweetie, blah, 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 blah. And this white woman out of nowhere, they have a name tag. And I turned around and I looked at the lady, and I didn't say anything, but deep down in my heart, I was like, bitch, do you think I give a fucking what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody asked you for your fucking opinion. I see that goddamn name tag. I chose to call him honey, baby, sweetie. That's my motherfucking business.
Oh, so it wasn't the person that you called that was upset. It was a random white lady.
Yes, the lady right behind me.
Right, exactly. She could have minded her fucking business.
Yes.
The other thing that's interesting about that too, because I think white women and their struggles in personhood are just different than ours. And their struggles have been, especially from for them, from the opposite perspective. It's like a revolution for a lot of black women as of the last probably 10 to 15 years has been wanting to be seen as sexual, but also in control of your sexuality, which is a thing that white feminists went through in like the 70s. Right. Controlling their sex. Like, I want to be sexual, but I also want to be controlling of my sexuality. And And so we're seeing it with Megan and Cardi and Nicki and Beyonce and even Michelle Obama and stuff like that. Like, this is my body and it's attractive, and who gives a fuck, what you think. And it's not even about you, it's about me, right?
Mhm.
But white women have been so put on a pedestal of the epitome of femininity and attractiveness. Their rebellion is away from the genteel. Their rebellion is away from the sexual attraction in some cases, or away from the ma'am and the lady, because they're like, I don't want to. Y'all been calling me that shit my whole life. I'm against sweetie pie. I'm against honey because I've been honey and sugar tits and all kinds of shit when my name is such and such. So she took her insecurity about her feminism and femininity and struggle, and then transpose it onto whoever you would call a honey baby sugar, and tried to teach you a lesson in that way with that bullshit, but she could have just kept her motherfucking mouth closed because wasn't nobody talking her ass.
Correct. And I remember the situation. I'll never forget it. It made me highly upset. And I did not say anything. I just basically wide-eyed stared the fuck out of her and turned around and started talking to the cashier, because in my head, I was like, you know yourself, like, Karen, if you open up your mouth, it's going to be a motherfucking problem. Talk to the cashier and get your ass out of here.
Yeah, she didn't know you, but you're also not a very confrontational person like that anyway. Mm-hmm. So, it probably, even if you would have been heated and you didn't have like an altercation with them in that moment, that doesn't say anything about, you or the right or wrong. It's just, I know you're not confrontational. We get out the car and somebody rudely brushes past you and you apologize to them. And then later you tell me how you were feeling on the inside, and I think, people mistake that sometimes for being like easy or pushover. So she probably thought like, I corrected her. She'll know not to call them sweetie baby honey pie next time because I fucking white lady explained that shit. But it's that authority that I think people reject in a lot of cases.
Yeah, and also, truth be told, and I like this, I did not know why I was like this. Some of it is my childhood. But as an adult, particularly as a Black woman, I mean, you have talked about this, I try my best to de-escalate. And so, a lot of that niceness and kindness is a form of de-escalating, because the last thing I want to do is shit to get out of control. And all of a sudden, shit is happening that I didn't plan on happening. I'm getting a fucking fist fight. Somebody putting out a goddamn gun, anything. So I'm like, you know what? Anything to just get away from you.
Yeah, I think there's some truth to that. I think your way of de-escalating is probably being overly nice and outgoing towards everybody in a space, in a lot of places, to disarm them or something like that. Mm-hmm. Not saying I don't think you process it that cynically, but I think, compared to like me, I'm more of I don't want to make a big fuss and scene because you motherfuckers think I'm dangerous or something. And so it's easier for me to be like, let me read my book. I'm just over here minding my business. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm being polite and professional, but I'm not, courting a bunch of attention. I'm not gregarious like that with people I don't know. You see me out hanging out, talking, holding court, then it's probably just, I know a lot of people at that moment, at that place. But I think the other thing is, like I said, coming from that white woman perspective, honey sugar baby has been used to dismiss them. So they don't like what you see as disarming the room. They see as attacking them as like, oh, I'm less than. I remember one time I was having a conversation on Twitter. It was a long time ago. This lady was mad about something. And she was in my mentions and I was like, ma'am, like just ma'am. This white lady went on the longest fucking thread about how don't you ma'am me, da 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 da. I said, ma'am is a sign of respect down here. Like, me calling you ma'am in that situation is more of a like, I'm giving you respect, but I'm also this is a laughing respect I'm giving you, like, ma'am, and then we ha ha ha. Not, this wasn't a ma'am or whatever, however you felt it inside, however. That is not how we hold it in my culture. That's not what we do down here. We call you Miss April is a sign of respect. You know, like it ain't the same as whatever that shit you're selling is. But she was so in her own like cultural frame of reference, her own. She couldn't see beyond that, and I think that's what those moments are, and that's what happens. But yeah, this has nothing to do with the fishing shit at this point. Just this motherfucker's crazy. She need to leave him alone.
Yes.
Next one. Fans can't get their heads around a number of celebrities at Kristen Bell's dinner party photo. So she had a dinner party, the actress, and she had a lot of famous people at there. And I know what you're thinking, Karen. Why is this in fucking with black people? That's her and all the famous people she knows. I recognize like 3 of them, but I feel like all of them are famous. You know, I know this is Jennifer Aniston for sure. I think this might be the nigga from Jason.
Cox? Not Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox, maybe. Yeah, let's go Courtney Cox right here. Let's go with Jason Bateman right here. We could be wrong about all these. Yeah, I assume this is Kristen Bell. Kirsten Bell, maybe, or Kristen Bell.
I'm sorry if it's the wrong white woman.
But do you notice anything else about this picture?
Yeah, ain't nobody brown in it.
Nobody brown in it, Karen. And that's what the internet noticed. And Twitter was very upset about this picture. They said,
Yeah, they was happy minding their own. Everything ain't for the internet, child. You could have took this picture, put it in the photo chat, and y'all could have went on with your white ass lives.
Yeah, a white dude posted this photo from Kristen Bell's dinner party gets increasingly what the fuck you got on the table. And I think you need to know all these white people to know why that is true, because I don't. I didn't see what was more what the fuck at the other end of the table versus the closest end of the table.
Yeah, I'm supposed to give a fuck about this shit. I don't.
But the people took it, and that's not what they got upset about. They got upset that there were no black people at the table. So 0 to 100.
Not trying to be funny. 0. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, I was going with a 0 on this one. All right, taking the wind out of myself because I'm going negative 100. I don't care.
Don't give a fuck. This is their function. They can do whatever they want to at their function.
This is a Rorschach test. Because if you looked at that shit and all you could think was angry that no black people were there, for me, that's a look in the mirror and ask why you won't be there so bad situation. It wasn't a Klan meeting. It was a fucking dinner party.
Right.
I've gone on a lot of events where it was monochromatic up in that motherfucker. And not once was I like, we got to diversify our friend portfolio. Us, you know, like I don't think it was actively like plotting against black folks. And for those that say, well, there are business opportunities at that table. Well, that's the most fucking cynical, nepotistic thing I've ever heard. And I wonder if you think that about your friends when y'all hang out, is the business opportunities, you fucking tit for tat transactional ass nigga. Like I really genuinely just went, that's a lot of white people, and moved on, chuckled to myself. But I didn't think like they owe an obligation to the world to make sure some black people are at every dinner party they go to. That just felt weird to me. So I don't know. And it felt weird that not so many, but there's a vocal part of black people that I don't want to transpose macro level thinking to them individually. So I will say, I don't know individually all of them were coming from what I'm about to say. Many of them may not have been coming from that background, but it made me wonder if this is like the pursuit of white approval and inclusion for so many black people is taking like this. That's all they see when they think about diversity, equality, and stuff. They don't see like a black world or a black community that is black and we're serving ourselves and we're not fucking worried about them. I think they see like a world where they're among the black people at the table. Mm-hmm. And like literally and metaphorically in this sense. And they see that as progress. And I think I'm so, I won't say beyond, but I'm so like unconcerned with that. I'm more of a leave us alone to our own devices to let us move. And if you want to move in white circles, that's fine. I'm not knocking that.
Right.
But like freedom to me is the freedom to move.
Right.
It is not a it's not a when I see a table of people having a good time, where are the black people there? Or let's go grab two blacks and put them into this. Like, it's not an affirmative action situation.
Mhm.
It's a friendship group, and to me, it doesn't seem that big of a like. It didn't seem like a big deal. I'm sure there's people that disagree that because there were so many people that were like felt very strongly about needing to be or have or see a black person at that table.
Bitch, I'm good. This is a dinner party.
Keep in mind, no other races, by the way. It was a bunch of like, why isn't there a black person there? Not like, why isn't there a lot of people of color? It's a lot of,
Yeah, I'm
if
going.
they
to
gotta
somebody
be black.
brown.
I'm like, so if they had one black person, y'all would be cool, or what? How's that work?
Possibility you
They gotta have,
turn
like,
on them and call them a coon.
Two blacks, one Asian, 3 Middle Eastern. Like, what are the rules?
Quotas.
Yeah. For me, it was a 0. I couldn't.
Yeah,
I didn't see that picture and then go. I chuckled at it. I was like, white people. I didn't think like they owed their friendship diversity to us. Who gives a fuck? I'm not hanging out with them. So
right. And
they could have invited me and y'all wouldn't know. Maybe that's what happened with the black people they know. They say, hey, you want to come hang out with a bunch of white people in the middle of nowhere? And it's like, well, last time that happened, a black woman died and y'all blamed her for her own death. So I think I'm going to stay home. All right, let's get into something else. Let me do some guess the race. This time for 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 guess the race. Oh, I just read something in the chat and I want to address it before, because you're right. People are going to write in with that opinion. And I did see this opinion on social media and I didn't agree with it at the time and I don't now. But people were like, because this is just like a boardroom at a company. It's a friendship group. It's dinner with friends.
Right.
It is not the same. Just because it reminds you of something, it doesn't make it the fucking same. That means if you feel that way, then you better look at every fucking picture of everybody out eating everywhere and be like, this means these are the only people they would hire as the HR at their companies. Like, companies have diversity mandates, rules, bylaws, a bunch of shit that don't have anything to do with your friendship group. I think that's what really, like, at its core, that's the thing that gets me like passionate, is that at its core, what you're saying is, to you, a friendship is a transactional thing. You cannot believe these people are hanging out as friends because you don't believe that about anybody. It's got to be, what am I getting out of it? Yeah, to me, that says something about the way you navigate life. And I think, like a person asking me on an ice cream date, we just not on the same vibe. If that's how you get down.
And on top of that, like everything else, is people own insecurities and they're projecting it, which has
Right.
nothing to do with the dinner.
Yeah, the jokes were great though. The Black Twitter jokes. Go back and look
memes,
them up.
I bet you they
go back and look them up, guys.
They were top notch.
My favorite, I asked somebody to make a meme for me, but my favorite was there was a picture going around of some white people at a party and they were eating chocolate, but they had shaped the chocolate into like a human body, so it looked like they were ceremoniously eating the pieces of a black person or something, like an effigy. And so I said, can somebody take the chocolate black person and then Photoshop them onto the table at Kristen Bell's dinner party? And my man Great Uncle Bob, I think he did. So it's funny. Oh, like, yeah, that's good. The jokes are great. I love the jokes. Somebody photoshopped them into the submarine.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, but am I gonna pretend like, nah, I'm not fucking outraged. If I see Asian white people in public, I'll think the same thing about them as any, like, I won't be like, goddamn racist motherfuckers. I'm like, oh yeah, the famous people from the show. All right, let's go to the guess the race. Kitten killer.
Oh.
Man 22 was arrested for killing at least 6 kittens, including microwaving 3 of them in 2 months and replacing them with lookalikes so his mother wouldn't get suspicious.
What?
I know, he's living with his mother. This catch? I'd take him on an ice cream date. I know that's right, Karen.
Fuck no.
22-year-old. You're right, Karen. I'm in catnip date. 22-year-old Illinois man has been arrested for allegedly murdering half a dozen kittens by drowning some and microwaving others.
How the fuck you?
And that, I mean, and honestly, they weren't even fighting them like Michael Vick was with the dogs. Like, there's no excuse for this.
That must have been smaller kittens because adult kittens will fuck you up.
That would be a good sketch. A kitten fighting ring, a cat fighting ring. Like a dog fighting ring, but the whole skit is that cats do what the fuck they want to do anyway, so they just wouldn't do it.
Right, they just stare at each other and not fight. Then they get together and be like, you know what, let's fuck this human up for even putting us in here.
You throw them in the cat pit together and they just start like throwing a ball at each other and stuff. You're like, what is this?
Reaching for yarn.
Fight, damn it, fight.
Sitting in boxes.
Chicago roofer Thomas Martell has been accused of killing at least 6 baby cats after his girlfriend told police about a foul-smelling bag in his pantry, which they cut open to reveal to be feline body parts.
Oh,
yes, I'm as shocked as you can. He has a girlfriend. What? Wow. But you know what? Guy like this, he ain't gonna stay on the market long. He's 22. He's highly motivated. We know he can stick to things. You know, he's consistent.
Catch.
He's staying with his mama. I mean, come on. This man probably got a recurring card at Baskin Robbins. He probably go on so many dates. Martell from the neighborhood of Wicker Park has been charged with 4 counts of animal torture and 2 counts of aggravated cruelty to animals. The horrific details of the allegations were described during his bail hearing. What do you do? What has to go so wrong in your relationship that you call the police on a smell? That's what she did. They didn't say she found kittens.
It smelled like death.
They said she was like, it's stanking here. Oh my God, 911.
It was she's like, literally, you know how you joke somebody that she's like, look, somebody has died. Y'all got to find out what happened.
Pretty sure I'm either dating Jeffrey Dahmer or this motherfucker is killing cats. I don't know, but y'all need to come out here and look, detectives. The horrific details of the allegation were described during his bail hearing. They say he killed one of the kittens at his home and then replaced it with a lookalike. That says a lot. Now honestly, no offense, cat people. I know y'all listening, y'all gonna get upset even though I told you that. But y'all know I'm telling the truth. This is the difference between cats and dogs. Because like if you replace a dog with another dog, even if it looked alike, motherfuckers will know right away.
Yeah, because they know they
like animals. This ain't my dog, man. Because dogs be fucking up on you and interacting and shit.
You know your animal.
You can replace a cat, man. Most people ain't gonna find out.
They won't find out because you'll never see the cat for 6 months.
Cats do what they want to do. They be just going through phases. It'd be like, I'm touching you.
Another family and shit you won't even know.
I'm gonna let you pet me today, but then for the next 39 days, I'm scratch you every time I see you. But hey, fuck it, I'm a cat. I do what I want to do. You still gonna feed me? Now go on, make me some food, bitch. Like they very disrespectful. Mm-hmm. They don't care if you come home or not, you know. Mm-hmm. So my point is, he could have got away with this if not for his packing up, making the house funky.
Yeah, just should have buried him.
His mom didn't turn him in because she thought the cats was getting replaced, did she? Said, oh, Mr. Mittens, he comes when the food is ready and he fucking never talks to me any other time. And that's just what it is. But yeah, she said she sourced each cat on Craigslist so he sourced each cat on Craigslist so his mom would not get suspicious. The judge said, we're seeing a pattern of going back again and again, killing the animal, going out and get a replacement, kill that one, get a replacement, kill that one, get a replacement. And unfortunately, this was allowed to continue for a sustained period of time and numerous animals have lost their lives. That's we hate to see it.
Yeah, that's sad because he get more time for these animals than if it would have been a kid.
That is true. Message. It probably depends on the kid, though. Can depend on what kind of kid that we're talking about here. But it is a trial in Chicago, so I know who we could get for his lawyer.
Do not insult my intelligence.
I can see it.
Oh no!
She probably free, you know.
Oh, you know she free.
Are we done here?
Okay. But yeah, The judge ordered him to pay $7,500 bail deposit to be. Why would you let him out? We know how this goes. Next thing you know, he's chopping up people. That's how this escalates. Have you guys never watched any serial killer movie ever? It always starts with the animals and then it escalates. His girlfriend first reported the abuse to police on May 23rd. Because he told his girlfriend that he enjoyed killing cats and he had been like that since he was 8 years old. Oh, them poor cats. Oh my goodness.
So these are the ones they found. I guarantee you he's been doing this decade.
Yeah, I bet you. And now that we know it's from his perspective, I bet them replacement cats wasn't even close.
You know they wasn't. You know his mama's senile and got cataracts and shit.
Martell allegedly bought a second kitten named Shelly and an adult male cat named Reggie, who were not harmed. So Shelly and Reggie made it through the shit. I know they got PTSD.
Yeah.
They done seen some things.
Or them made it been the two that fought back.
They souls done seen rivers. They done had to witness a lot of the homies. This motherfucker just go out the house with the old cat, come back with a new one. You got it, because you know the cats know the difference.
You know they do.
They're like, that ain't Sam. What the fuck? Sam. Oh, damn, Sam.
Right? They're looking at them like, who are you?
He allegedly pulled the unresponsive kitten. He drowned a new kitten in a tub of water. He tried to revive it by doing CPR with his thumb, according to his girlfriend. So she saw this and she stayed. Whew. He must have got that bomb dick. I don't know what's happening. He must have got her dickmatized. Like, how many cats do you watch somebody drown to be like, I'm gonna wait this out though? He get out of this phase. Okay, y'all ain't see him in the gray sweatpants. Okay, you don't know what's happening. He don't just kill the pussies in the tub, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. Oh, no! A few hours later, he purchased a third kitten on Craigslist, named it Shelly. He said he wanted to teach it how to swim. Now, who the fuck teaches a cat to swim? Cats hate water, and they probably can swim.
Right?
Naturally.
They were probably like, no, fuck the fuck I did with
Cats
water.
don't swim because they don't want to.
Yeah, because they don't want to. If they want to, they can.
But yeah, a few hours later, he allegedly removed a bag from the pantry, told his girlfriend the kitten's body was inside before tossing it down the trash chute. As he turned to Craigslist for the fourth time, his girlfriend begged him to stop. So he kicked her out, only to call her back for some money so he could buy a new kitten. Men are trash.
Yes, they are.
Oh my God. Girl, you got to want better for yourself. Now see,
she ignored all the red flags.
You would behoove yourself to go on a few ice cream dates.
Yes, you would.
Get to know them, see if the vibe is right. Okay, that's what
killing the cat should be the number one question.
Yeah, the ice cream date is about the vibe. See, this is what happens when you skip the ice cream date and go straight to like impress me, because then he show up, take you to Roof Chris. Now you got to marry this nigga, even though he killed cats. Come on, that don't make sense. Sorry, Karen, the edible hit. This is what it's gonna be for the rest of the show.
This is what it's gonna be. It's
all funny to me. I can look back tomorrow and be like, this is the most offensive segment on the show. I was laughing about killing cats.
But I was wrong with Ron.
Anyway, this nigga turned to Craigslist the fourth time, kicked her out, and then said, let me hold $20 though. I need to I saw this one tabby on Craigslist and I gotta do it, girl. We'll work it out.
I had to pull the plug. I mean, the cat was adorable.
Right. Did he pull the plug? Did he show up with some sexy music in the background? You know, when he called her to be like, baby, I need to hold some money to get this new cat. Mm-hmm. You know, it's me, baby. I know I kicked you out this morning, but I didn't mean it.
She did not understand why it was catnip everywhere.
Right. Well, apparently she did. This nigga was telling her. I thought she had sussed it out. This motherfucker was literally telling her like, hey, I'm killing cats up in here. I'm about to drown one and try to bring it back to life. You want to watch? And so, yeah, I think she just is a woman scorned. She's like the Mariah Mills of cat murderers, because she only mad that he kicked her out that time. So that's when she called the cops. It's not really about, she could kill. She like, I could care less about if the cats died or not.
Apparently.
But you ain't gonna disrespect me and kick me out the street.
She don't realize you gonna be next because you know it escalates past the animals most of the time, like into actually human beings.
Right. She literally and figuratively got to watch out because she might catch a stray.
She barely made it through the skin of her whiskers.
That's not even a phrase.
I told you my shit don't got to make sense.
You just wanted to do one because I did one.
Yep.
Then the pattern repeated on June 7th with the fifth kitten, again named Shelly. They
all named Shelly.
Hold up. So the Shelly that survived is Shelly too?
Apparently so.
Like, what? Come on, man.
You named them all Shelly.
But I guess technically, shouldn't all the kittens be named the same thing? Like, he's a terrible criminal if he bringing home kittens with new names.
Now, that's true.
Like, you had
the mom would catch on.
Yeah, the mom need to think they all Shelly. Luckily, no cat has ever come when his name was called, so you don't even have to worry about that.
You sure don't.
She allegedly found graphic videos and photographs of Martell with the fourth kitten alive, including one caption, "Just before I murdered her." Oh, girl, it don't got to be like this. You stayed. She sent the woman
the ghetto. Why?
The woman sent the photos and the videos to herself, and then she contacted the Chicago police. Martell's girlfriend took a few days away and returned to his apartment June 23rd to a foul odor. First of all, a few days away, not all the days away. Why did you keep coming back, girl? Oh my God.
Ain't no dick that good.
Right. Which she identified as coming from a black bag on a pantry shelf. Martell told her he had killed 3 cats in the microwave and put them in the pantry. Okay, now this is ridiculous because what are the microwave instructions for a cat?
Do is the power 50%? Like, I don't understand.
Is it more like a hot pocket or is it more like a lean cuisine? Like
we're trying to find it out.
You gotta have steps, pull back the plastic, stir it up, put it back in for 3 minutes.
Flip it over, or is it one of them things? Last time I checked, I can't speak about nobody else. There wasn't the cat button. I know it's a potato button, it's a popcorn button.
Right.
Last time
you gotta keep hitting the add a minute button. Is that what you just cooking like every male cooking like every male under the age of 30? You gotta just keep adding a minute on the microwave. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Like, there's instructions on the box. Beep beep.
I don't give a fuck.
I think it's about 5 minutes on the Pop-Tart. Went too far. But yeah, he microwaved the cats. Didn't even eat them. What a waste of a cat. If you're going to kill an animal like that in a microwave, at least eat it. But yeah, so he had multiple kittens in that bag. He underwent a mental health evaluation before turning himself in to police on Monday. That seemed backwards. Don't it normally be the police arrest you, then you get a mental health evaluation that you didn't want to have the whole time? Who does a voluntary mental health evaluation? It's like, listen, I want to save you some time.
Right, he's like, sir, you're under arrest.
Ain't no need to waste your time. I'm fucking Joker out this bitch, okay? I'm the mask. I'm crazy. Somebody stop me. Come get me, police.
They do. They need to come and get you.
His private defense attorney, Brandon Brown, told Judge McCarthy that Martell is due to begin a new mental health treatment program. And he has no previous criminal convictions. Karen, guess the race of Mr. Martell.
What's Martell's last name?
Thomas Martell. Martell is his last name.
Martell. I'm going white.
Karen's going white. Let's see what the chat room says. Serial killer in training, white. Okay, Lil Damien, cue the Omen music, white. Ms. Barnes says Jason Voorhees living with his mom, white. Wet ass pussy, white. Cat scratch fevers. Michael Myers training camp says Nerdy Sensei. The strays caught a stray from this seasonless sociopath, says Cass. This white as hell, didn't season the cat white. Yeah, they didn't mention any seasonings on the cat, so I imagine salt and pepper to taste. The correct answer is white. Very clean cut. I imagine that's why she stayed, you know. That being said, he still also looked like a whole ass serial killer to me, so maybe you can't have it both ways.
Apparently you can't.
Oh my god, like was this nigga standing in a mansion, girl? What was you doing? Why you kept going back?
I don't know.
Is it weird that in a story about a man killing 7 cats or whatever, a half a dozen cats, the main question I have is what the fuck was she doing with them? Is that misogyny that's happening? Is that patriarchy? I don't know. It's something, but it's happening, and y'all thinking it too. So don't judge me. All right, let's go to the next story. Guessing the race of the woman in this article.
Okay.
The woman. I found old text on my husband's phone. He called me ugly chick.
Oh shit! Did they put it on the internet?
Maybe it's a typo. Maybe he mean ugly chic. You know, like you was like stylish, like you in. It's like, oh, how your wife look? Oh, she's ugly chic. Okay, she in style with her ugliness. All right. You would have thought she was ugly last fashion season, but this fall, bitch, we are stunting on these hoes. Okay, she's like that ugly, sexy, like Seal. You know, where they got a cut on their face with something sexy about it.
Oh no.
Jane Lewis says a 40-year-old from New Jersey revealed that she was scrolling through her unidentified husband's phone when, with permission. So he didn't even think he do this so often. He didn't even think it was something to get mad about. When she came across disturbing text messages from when the two first got together 6 years ago. Oh, 6 years ago though. Oh, the plot thickens. I went through his messages to see who he was talking to. Him and his friend don't text that often, so I only had to scroll back like about 10 messages. Well, if that ain't two men being friends, I don't know what to tell you.
Right?
Okay. As she quickly scrolled back to the time around the beginning of their relationship, she was heartbroken to read how disrespectfully he talked about it to his friend. I got to one from when we first got together saying he was using me for my money, how ugly I am, and he won't have sex with me. Now, I ain't gonna lie, girl. You kind of hurt your own feelings on this one. That's sad if y'all been happy for how many years it was. And then it's...
Or you thought you happy.
Right. What if he's just like, clearly I didn't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I disagree with myself. I stayed here long enough. Yeah, but you're right. He could be like, I was right. I'm miserable. The message continued as her now 35-year-old husband bragged about an ugly chick who wants me so bad, insisting she would do anything for him, and had already invited him to move into her home, although he hadn't fucked her, and that he had plenty of other chicks who were hotter than she was. Well, at this point though, it's on your husband, because that friend remembers those texts and is like, bruh, you settled for the ugly chick? Like, you talked all that shit. Look at you. I thought you had plenty of bad hoes. Huh? What happened? Mr. Hoes. He continued boasting about how he planned to make out with her a little bit. This is another thing men do to seek approval. Like, no, I just like made out with her a little bit.
Talking to their friends. Fuck your friends, dog.
Then if you had a fucking ring cam in this house, they over there like mushy facing and kissing and making out and shit, and he's all in love, and he letting her be the big spoon and shit. But then he get on the phone and be like, you know how I do with these hoes, bro. You know what I'm saying? I had that bitch on my dick. You know what I'm saying? Hold on one second. Coming, honey. Yeah, I gotta go, man. You know how bitches be. Click. It's like how Married with Children had the premise that Peg Bundy was ugly.
And you like, word.
Right. Like, it's just, that's men in a nutshell. It's like, I need this lie to be real to me to make my life be viable. Yeah, he continued boasting about how he planned to make out with her to keep her happy, despite the fact that she looked nothing like the hot girls he sees all the time. Despite his beliefs that hot chicks are stuck up anyway. Also, it was the personality that went out. Oh, it was pretty bad. It was very shocking. I was devastated. The mother of 3, also you can't leave, confronted her husband of 2 years, who claimed to be remorseful and incredibly embarrassed about his former immature self. He was mortified. He was pretty upset and apologized. He said he felt bad about himself at the time and he wanted to make himself feel better. That's deep. I see why you married him. However, Lewis still struggles to come to terms with how to get past these disturbing messages. I don't know how. Well, first thing would be not to tell the entire motherfucking world on the internet.
Because it definitely won't go away now.
This was a L you could have took in private, sis.
In private. A lot of people take a lot of L's in private.
Trust me. I know that everybody has a ministry, but look, it ain't a lot of motherfuckers in every pew. If you know what I'm saying, like, you might should have kept this one I should have took this one to bed with you.
This is a private show. Private showing.
Like she got her picture in on the internet, and then she blurred her husband's face out.
Well, if they know you, they know him.
I think at the end of the day, she just wants us all to be like, girl, you ain't ugly. Calm down. You know? I thought we had a nice relationship. I don't understand any of it. He was so nice to me and appreciative of everything I said. He was all around pretty kind. I have to do a double take when I found the messages. This men be lying. That's honestly, I think the real truth is he loves her. He knows she was attractive. He was having a good time. And I think this is why I talk about all these motherfuckers that want to do all my alpha male type shit. They're the most fucking, I just want to fit in. I'm scared to be judged. Mm-hmm. I'm scared to be real. I need to be cool. And whenever privileged people want to be cool, hurting the person that's under that's not privileged in the minority group or whatever, that shit right there is a surefire way to be cool. So it's like, look at me, I treat women like shit. I mean, yeah, we went on a few dates, but it's because of, you know what I'm saying, she ugly, but I be getting all kind of, like, he thought that made him look good. I do believe he thought that shit. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, he was over here holding hands, having a good fucking time.
Of course.
Oh man, that's so. And men do this all the time. Like like amongst my friend group, I always be like, you don't got to pretend to hate your wife for me. I love mine, so I'm not participating in whatever this is. So don't tell me that, oh, bitch want me to cut the grass. Hey man, I don't do that.
Mm-mm. And it's also one of those things where it's funny though how men like to claim the stereotype on women and their friends and allowing their friends to influence them. Men do it too. They do it in different ways, but they do it too.
All the time.
If you like it and love it, she might be heavier, a big ass, big tits, whatever. Right. But if that's your motherfucking jam,
I don't know why you named two good things, but yes.
I mean, but
I know, I'm just joking.
I know, bro. But but they quote unquote circle is like, ew, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You get rid of something.
This person has a different type of body than people, different race, different whatever the fuck, they dress differently. Like, I just need to look the coolest. And like every dude that's been friends with dudes has experienced that. Mm-hmm. And if you hopefully you get in a good circle, people don't have to do that for you. But like, there's always a guy that's doing the like kind of, and like, of course, people allow that. Like, it's a friend group, and if you don't think they mean it, you just laugh it off, But sometimes people seem to convey that they mean it, but you look at their life and you're like, your whole life is set up with this person. You fucking love this person. Yeah,
like, it doesn't make no sense. Like, why else would you be here?
Yeah, like, I've seen that shit before, but anyway, she admits she never would have married her husband if she had found the messages earlier. She said, it seemed like our relationship was based on a lie. He didn't treat me like that. It was out of character. He wasn't the person he was when we were together. He was sweet and flattering. Now she worries about how she could trust him after finding the old messages. Well, you went through the rest of his phone on too. You say you don't message people often, so you ain't find no dick pics. You good. He's clearly a different person to me than what he is with his friends, and that's messed up. Marriage means a lot to him, and he said he was never going to get married unless it was someone really special, but I don't believe anything he tells me now. He could be telling me one thing and other people another. All right, Karen, guess the race of this lady.
White. What's her name?
Her name is something Lewis. Second. Jane Lewis.
Oh, white.
Okay, she's 40 years old from New Jersey. Let's check the chat room, see what they believe. But yeah, that's interesting, man. That just feels like you shouldn't know that.
Not our business.
Yeah. But I also get why it would be hard to process because it's new to you, even though it's 6 years old. Ugly Betty White, Plain Jane White, Shallow Brokenness White, Tragic. Okay. Somebody's Teacher White. Everyone went white on this, and you're correct. The pictures. His face is blurred out, but she didn't blur her face out, and that makes me believe the real purpose of this was to post her picture and to see if we all went, damn, you ugly. You know, and I think most people would say, no, she looks fine. Depending on the angle and the day, she looks fine, perfectly fine. I don't like, maybe there's some insecurity that was going up around her looks or something, or just the sense of betrayal of knowing he ever said something like that. Maybe that's what it is, you know? All right, let's do one more. You're 2 for 2, right?
Yay!
Yeah. Like, who would have thought? Not me. Okay.
Who would have thought?
That bitch was white!
I ain't racist.
How can I be racist about
Anyone or
anything
anything
in my life? How can I?
Call them niggas.
Just call them niggas. It's time to
Gold chain wearing fried chicken and biscuit eating monkey, pink baboon, big guy, fast running, high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball.
I wonder who's gonna slide in that lady's DMs though.
Well, somebody wait.
Because you know someone's listen. What kind of man would treat his woman so cold?
I'll be your stepdaddy.
Treat you like you're nothing. Like, yeah. I'll take you on a trip. Like, it's gonna be a whole lot of that. Amazon manager who bought Lamborghini while leading a $9.4 million theft ring has been sentenced to 16 years. And Amazon
delivering packages for real, apparently.
Listen, I'd make them pee on the floor too. Okay? You can't trust these motherfuckers. An Amazon manager who masterminded an audacious $10 million fraud that allowed her to buy a Lamborghini and a mansion where she lived with her co-conspirator girlfriend is riding off to the big house.
Of course. And my thing is this. Amazon got a whole ass team of lawyers and auditors. Somebody's going to find this issue. Like, you can't fuck up the balance sheet that bad, and somebody, they might not catch it today, they might not catch it tomorrow, but they consistently do audits. They got to work with the federal government and shit like this, and somebody gonna be like, there's some discrepancies here. Find out what the fuck is happening.
Right.
And they gonna come get you.
I don't know. Maybe she just thought they'd write it off the way sometimes you try to do a return to Amazon. They be like, just keep it. Fuck it.
That do be like that sometimes.
Kayrika Wortham, 32, an operations manager at the e-commerce giant's Atlanta warehouse, was sentenced to 16 years in federal prison for orchestrating the plot.
Bedtime.
Orchestrating a plot involving 6 others that built the e-commerce giant out of $9.4 million. She used the stolen money to fund an extravagant lifestyle for her and her 37-year-old lover, Brittany Hudson. The couple bought a fleet of luxury cars.
Not a fleet.
Now, when she showed up at Amazon in a Tesla,
somebody was like, on this money?
That didn't look suspicious. This is like after they pulled out the Lufthansa heist and motherfuckers were spending money in like Goodfellas or whatever. It's like, what y'all doing? Yeah, she had a Tesla, she had a Porsche, and a Lamborghini, as well as $1 million home in Smyrna, Georgia, an Atlanta suburb near the Amazon warehouse. A Tesla, a Porsche, and a Lamborghini, and you just driving up to work every day in a different car, like nobody gonna know. Wortham, who worked at the Amazon facility from about August 2020 to March 2022, was charged. She did all this stealing in 2 years? Wow. Was charged with wire fraud last September and pleaded guilty in November. The Fed seized the cars and home that she bought with the stolen money,
Of course.
which were valued at $2.7 million.
Woo.
She she represented herself in court.
Oh no! You know what they said about that?
Yes.
You the fool.
Yep. Well, she was ordered to pay $9.5 million in restitution to Amazon and faces 3 years of supervised release after she serves her long stint.
Oh, you can pay that off.
Nick Lotito, a lawyer who served as a standby counsel for her, so not her lawyer, but on standby, he said the sentence was greater than necessary. Amazon declined to comment. So she would submit false invoices for fake vendors and then redirect the funds to herself and 6 others in the theft ring.
As somebody who works in accounts payable, this is why companies have checks and balances, and they like force you to send EEOs, the EIC numbers,
right.
and shit like that.
Have monthly audits and stuff.
Yes, and also another reason why companies too actually go and actually do like background checks on companies, because some companies are known to send fake bills. Like they're actually a real business, but they are known to bill people for shit that they never did before.
Right.
And so, this is where that checking. So somebody is like, who is this company? We've never heard. We don't have any tax we don't have any tax record on these people. Like, not that funny. Something like this was an easy ass catch. Sooner, like I said, not today, not tomorrow, but somebody was gonna audit and it was like, who is this company?
Yeah, and it's even worse, of course, when you're just making the company up.
Right.
It's like 2 hype brothers and a dog moving. Why are we sending them money? Hudson, who owned a business contracted by Amazon to deliver packages, helped Wortham submit fake invoices to Amazon that were worth millions of dollars. She was indicted by a federal grand jury on conspiracy, wire fraud, and money laundering. She also involved a plot where Demetrius Hines, who worked in the loss prevention department for Amazon, and a human resources assistant, Laquitia Blanchard.
Oh shit!
Oh,
y'all going to jail.
Hines and Blanchard reportedly provided Wortham with names and social security numbers that were that were used to falsify the vendor accounts.
Okay, because I was about to say, how did this shit get approved?
Hines bought the stolen personal information from Jaquan Frazier, who also pleaded guilty. They gonna get sentenced at a later date, but they involved. Jamar L. James is an operation manager at another Georgia-based Amazon in Duluth. He got recruited to provide her with falsified invoices. She had a whole network, man. The DOJ accused James of continuing to approve fake invoices on behalf of Amazon even after Wortham left the company in March 2022. So he tried to keep the party going even though she wasn't even there, and so he got hemmed up.
All right, they're like, this doesn't make sense. Like, why are we still doing this and this person no longer is with the company?
Those charges are still pending for him and Darrell J. Burgo, the people that sold personal information. Before she was sentenced, she and Hudson were free on bail and worked with a franchising company to try to open a hookah bar called Crew Lounge in Midtown Atlanta.
Are we gonna shut that shit down? Because that was part of their money. That's they bought now. Right. Amazon got a hookah bar apparently.
The couple allegedly sent forged court documents signed by a federal judge and stamped with a fake seal of Northern District of Georgia Court, indicating that the charges had been dismissed. So they tried to dismiss their own charges with a forgery. Hudson also
somebody was like, tap that number in the system. That number's not right.
Scamming never die. Hudson also allegedly emailed the franchising company false bank documents that inflated the balances of her accounts. When prosecutors learned of the forgery, Wortham and Hudson's bonds were revoked, and charges in that case are pending.
That was like, you know what? Fuck that. No bail.
Guess the race of Karika Wortham.
Oh, all 18 of them is niggas. That's a big group of people.
Check the chat room, see what they believe. That's a bunch of niggas, says Devil Bitch. An enterprising Nubian queen just getting reparations. Okay, Cypher, I love to see it. Okay. She would have been at that dinner party. Get to the bag, sis. Jeffrey of Bezos was not letting Frankie, Stoney, Cleo, and Lisa pull a set it off on him. Black. Wortham. I love how y'all are so open-minded about y'all packages not getting there. You love to see it. I'm just kidding. I bet if she was still a package, y'all be like, fuck her. Had some lotion went missing in 96.
And I don't know what happened to it.
Jeffrey of Bezos. Okay, Wortham knew her worth. Black. 3-6 Mafia crime franchise. Black. These some black. She was like, well, Jeff went to space on niggas' money, so this black ass black. White is on the moon indeed. PPP gone now. Paying on that too. Be black. The correct. Oh, no. Now playing on that too. The correct answer is black. And that's her.
You going to the jail?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the race of her accomplishments, but the names of her accomplishments say black to me.
Yeah, they do, and gonna serve all that time and then get out, and they go like, yeah, everything you own for the rest to the day you take your last breath, write it to Amazon.
They gonna put on that Tasha K program.
Mm-hmm. They gonna say write it to Amazon.
Oh man, poor Tasha K. I mean that literally.
Right?
Let's see. A duo is accused of a pair appear at Blackpool Magistrates Court accused of robbery with a samurai sword and an imitation handgun.
Imitation?
That's how you know it ain't happening in America. We got the real, genuine article, baby. Okay? We don't play with these imitations.
We do a fake one.
Okay?
What the fuck is this? Is it made of cake? The fuck is an imitation handgun?
You had the rest, now try the best. Real guns, America.
They was like, this shit don't even click. What is this?
Drop that zero and get with this hero, all right?
They ain't put no bullets in this. What kind of gun is this?
A man and 17-year-old youth have made their first court appearance charged with carrying out a robbery armed with handguns and swords. It's alleged threats were made to cut off a man's fingers in the incident. The duo were arrested on Sunday following the incident on Braithwaite Street, Blackpool. A third male is still at large. District Judge Keith Allen heard at Blackpool Magistrates Court. The 17-year-old cannot be named for legal reasons. Par Barwell, 43, was remanded in custody. Well, 43 hanging out with a 17-year-old, they ain't nothing but the devil anyway. Or some people call it the plot to that Hugh Hefner TV show. See, I'm just kidding, guys. Hugh Hefner's way older than 43. He is charged with robbery, possessing a samurai sword, and an imitation handgun. The court heard Barwell was allegedly one of three males who went into a private house demanding £9,000 from a resident and were threatening to cut off fingers and kneecap a witness by shooting.
Well, goddamn.
The 17-year-old faces the same charges apart from possessing a real firearm. Well, he had a real gun. Oh. Shorty was about it. He was remanded in custody.
In there with that fake shit. I told you to get a real gun.
Right. He was remanded in custody to a youth offenders unit and will appear in Crown Court on the same date. All right, y'all. That's everything for everybody for all of this. We'll be back hopefully probably Wednesday for sure. Maybe tomorrow or Tuesday too. We'll see. But we'll be back. Until next time. I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. I got to go to Kristen Bell's dinner party. I'll be back.